Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to PreMarket Prep at the closed. First one of the year. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin, and Mitch Hotch lurking somewhere here in the background. Joel, I don't know how you want to describe today. An interesting day to start the year. We wondered if it was going to be a continuation or what the sentiment would be. I'll pull up the charts here and you can walk us through, but it's been a very eventful, to say the least, first day of trading in
I
2020.
I sure hope this trading action is symptomatic of what we're going to get every day for the remainder of the year. Everyone was prepared. Hey, rally overnight, sell off a little bit during the day, still end up on the day, and then rally overnight. But you know what? The old rug pull of rug pulls today. We opened up and went straight down, had absolutely no respect for any level. We got all the way down. Now we got a little bit of a rally going to 36.52.50. And I didn't even have that one on my board of potential levels. That's close to your December 23rd low, and now we got a little bit of a rebound. But just a whole different market today than what we've seen. But you know what? It's good because cranks up the volatility, makes both sides of the market a little bit more interesting. But man, if you're looking for a positive year, we got some work to do starting tomorrow. Crude getting hit with the market down $1.09 at 47.43. That's 250 off its high. So big reversal in crude. Gold chugging up $51.90 at 1947. Silver up $1.04 at 27.45 and a half. And Bitcoin, I don't know about these futures here. It's showing up 2,275, but that's from Friday's mark. And we all know it's been traveled a lot of different places than that. But interesting start here on January 4th. And you know what also is good, though? When this volatility is when people listen to the pre-market prep show, right? Because that's when we got things cranking in March and we started doing the after at the close show. So maybe that's good. Maybe we'll pick up some more viewers here since everyone is just not such a genius.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of this, right? Because I just wonder like how much of today's weakness, overall weakness, is just a psychological thing, right? Because really, like, what is the turn of the calendar other than an arbitrary day?
Well, a
Right?
lot of people that like Dennis who didn't want to sell, right, and take
Sure,
some
sure,
profits.
sure.
I think, and they took profits today and they're going to sit on all that cash and for the whole year and not have to pay taxes on it until a
Yeah,
year from April.
that's a
So
great point. That's a great
that's one.
point.
Yep. And they came in, and then the machines will turn on you, man. The machines will grind this market up, and they'll lift offers. But when the size comes in, and there's big sellers, man, the machines will turn on you in a heartbeat. And the machines turned negative today, and they started whacking bids, and just people were. I would just call it the complacent break. I don't think you could call it the end of any bull market yet, or anything more than just one bad day in the market that we were kind of due for.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it could end up. This could just be tax selling, right? This could.
Yeah, yeah, it
So
got delayed, and people said, I'm gonna book profit now. I'm not gonna
yeah.
do it in December. I'm not gonna pay taxes. So I know I did sell some stuff on Thursday, well, Friday or Wednesday or Thursday. I looked at it and I'm like, well, and actually the stuff that I didn't sell that I was thinking of selling is actually up on the day. So got to treat every day, every issue, under a microscope. I mean, if you would have sold your Tesla, you'd be regretting it. Neo, you'd be regretting it. So there are some stocks in the green today.
Well, not many. Let's see. You got Tesla in the green. You got like Neo and Xpeng and Li Auto. Those are in the green. Really, very few places to hide though.
Uh, I mean, Tesla, I mean, there was some news on it, right?
Well, we had deliveries, right? That
Deliveries,
was over
right?
the weekend. Yeah, they
But
all had
even though,
deliveries.
even though, like, if you look at it here, like, yeah, it's up, but what did it, I mean, it rallied in the first 15 minutes of the day And then it did have a little bit of a decline, so it had to gap up, and it went. Well, we got some new levels. I still don't think you can think bearish about this issue until it breaks 695. So we'll keep an eye on that. That was the high on the ad day, and that's where we busted out from. That would be back on Wednesday. So there's your new line in the sand in Tesla.
Interestingly enough, really since the crisis started, we've been looking at the market within the context of two trades, right? The stay-at-home trade or the reopening trade. And there have been some days, not many, but some days where the trades line up and the correlations really go to one. And today's one of those days, right? Because there really is nowhere to hide. Reopening stocks are down, airlines, cruise lines, retail, though not our retail, and also stay-at-home stocks are getting hit too, right? So it's just one of those days where pretty much sell everything. Doesn't matter. Reopening, stay at home, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think you did have. I mean, we talked about material news. I mean, things are not going well over the pond, right? And we've also talked about this. Is the crisis over? I mean, yeah, maybe it's over for the amount of hospitalizations and whatnot, but there's still a lot of sick people. There's still a lot of people behind on their rent payment. There's still a lot of people unemployed. It's still a market that's really went against old conventional wisdom. So, and also, you got a jobs report on Friday, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And how's that going to be great? So, a lot of different factors adding up to things. But
you made a great observation too. But just before we went on, Twitter and Pinterest, both when the market was falling out of bed there at the open, Twitter and Pinterest were going the other way, which you don't see very often. I don't remember too many days where Twitter has gone against the overall market. Pinterest too, for that matter.
Did you see any? I mean, I was looking for news on the Twitter because I just happened to be playing that a little bit, and I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" I really thought the company was getting taken over the way the market was going down and this thing was going up. And I'd be interesting to see what the chat has to say about it. And then this is really stretching it, but Slack blew up. I don't know how many people here use Slack.
It was
but we were
day.
yeah, and I just think people were like, oh, Slack, everyone comes back to work and they jammed up those pipes.
Yep.
And boom, boom, boom. And I think, hey, Twitter, I mean, Twitter has, under a lot of heavy, traffic situations, it hasn't gone down. Now, I know Slack does a lot of other things. So that was the only reason I could come up. I was hitting the news. I'm like, news. I'm like, what's going on? And that's the only thing I can come up with. Or, maybe someone was blown out of a large short position. But yeah, that. And I looked at pins. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what are they? Stay at home? I don't know what the heck they are. They're not really staying home. Twitter's been around before. I don't know.
I would call them stay-at-home plays because as people are at home with less to do, there's more time to waste on the internet. But I don't know. It was just it was a good observation by you. Unusual to see those two stocks.
Yeah, believe me. I mean, I couldn't believe it. But what other issues?
Okay, let's do one for me, and then I want to go to the chat. There's, I'm sure, some tickers that people want to talk about, but I want to talk about Herbalife here, which is a stock that we talked about a lot a couple years ago. There was a couple years, 2015, 2016. This stock was one of the more interesting stories on the street. Not so much these days, but the news overnight here that actually was from overnight, or maybe this morning. Carl Icahn has cut his stake. Remember, he was the activist. He was bullish this thing for years. He went against Bill Ackman. It's fair to say Icahn won that battle. He was bullish. The stock's gone up. He's cut his stake. He owned 16% of the company. Now he owns just 6%. So he's sold a pretty good portion of the stake, and he's also stepping away from the board. And that's bullish, apparently.
Yeah, that was we saw this one, and Dennis tongue-in-cheek said, well, just buy the dip. Never got near that pre-market low. It actually opened up right at a former low. Let's see what that opening price was. Opening price 46. Oh, opened at the exact low. So if you were so inclined to take a look at this low and say, hey, I'm going to buy the dip, 46.82. You put a limit out there. You got it done. Oh, and Carl, I don't know if you were watching, but after the market fell out of bed, and when he was Scott Wapner, he was conveniently hedged right now. He was worried about the market, and after that huge sell off in the morning, he was conveniently hedged. So I don't know. Big move for Herbalife. Never really understood the stock. I will just keep an eye. You're going up against a big level here after a big move. I don't know if anybody trades this, but keep an eye on this 40-50. Let's call it 40-50-40. 3 out of 4 highs between 50.31 and 50.36. We haven't hit that yet in today's session. So if you're looking for that rally, continue. Boom. You want to get over that triple top and keep on going. But I think there was just kind of like fade Carl move of anything else today.
Maybe. All right. If you have any tickers, drop them in the chat. We will take a look. There was a lot we didn't get to from the show this morning. Spinner goes, no one owns HLF. Well, you're probably right. Not a very popular stock.
Run it. I mean, it's been. Also, look at the monthly pattern on this thing, right? Yeah. I mean, it did run up with the with the market in March. It's just been hanging out. A couple monthly highs over 50. So I don't know. Is it the next Tesla or is next? No, I don't know what it is. And it was a fake Carl move. That's all I can say. Keep an eye on 50. I'll call it 50-40.
All right, to the chat. Let's see what people.
Oh, Georgia runoff. Terry Thomas coming in the chat. Got the the Georgia runoff tomorrow.
Yeah. I don't know where I stand on that.
You have a president that's refusing to concede an election. You're not through the pandemic. You have a one was poisoned. A Chinese billionaire was poisoned. Did you see that?
I heard about it, but that's all I know.
You have another Chinese billionaire missing. I mean, I've never seen so many buy indicators in my life.
I'm not sure on where I stand on tomorrow's primary runoff being a market, like an event for the market, right? Because maybe it will be, but to me, there's just so many dominoes that have to fall for that to really matter for investors, right? You're basically talking about, okay, one election determining the majority in the Senate, which would determine how easy or hard it would be for Joe Biden to do his agenda. I mean, there's just so many dominoes. I just don't know if I care. Like, I don't know if I care. You know what I mean? Like, from a political standpoint, sure, but from an investing standpoint, from a market standpoint, I just don't know if I care. Right? That's just me. That's just
me. There a lot of I agree with you on that one. You can't put too much emphasis on that. Yeah. Well, we got the tickers flying here.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Where do I even want to start here?
What about Palantir? Did that get like another $25 million contract?
A little more than that, but yeah. Every day this company announces a new contract, and I see it all over the internet. Today it was
they don't love it.
Oh no, today it was $22 million. You're right.
Yeah. Oh boy, and it's not moving. So it's not moving on good news, right? So I don't know. I mean, at 21, you're buying it here. I think you're risking down to 21.40. That was the low. And then we had a couple. I don't know. Let's get rid of this middle line here. This is kind of in no man's land here. Okay. I'd let this one. I really can't give you a good level on this one. I just don't have a good feel for it.
What about Chipotle? We haven't talked about Chipotle. I haven't looked at it in a while, but oh my gosh, I am stunned. I guess I lost complete track of this thing.
What's it like at 1,800 or something like that?
All right, not like that, but to me the stock will forever be like $800 because that's
more
because that's where it topped out at for so long, right? And then that's like what I associate the stock at 750, 800. That's where I associate it.
1,300. I mean, you come this far, this fast, big move, just, kind of went with the market. You got a sniff of yesterday's high. You got 3 lows at 1,300. So if you're buying it here, man, you got to at least risk to 1,300. I don't see like a major long-term trend being broken in this yet. These restaurants, I mean, when are these leases coming up? I mean,
Yeah.
there's been a lot of deliveries and stuff. I mean, the restaurants have done well. Now, if we're coming out of this thing, are people going to still wait in their car for 4 hours and get a Whopper? I don't know. A lot of things have changed. I guess you're staying home versus reopening trades. I mean, I think the market's undecided then.
Yeah. What else do I see? Here's one. Retail stock we don't talk about very often. The Real ticker is REAL. This is like a reselling. How do I describe it? It's a retailer, and I guess you can call it an online retailer. I guess.
I mean, it's holding up today. It didn't break down today, but I'll just give you this level right here. I mean, I see that many lows in the same area where that comes in, 1950. I mean, that's hard line in the sand there. Got to 1960 today, 1945 yesterday, or Thursday. Boy, I can't wait till we get back to normal days. 1970 on the 30th, 1990. I mean, there's your support in this thing. So it did bounce off support. Good move. This 21 level is still relevant to me. You had quad highs there, just under 21. You busted it through the day. You went to 21.30. That tells me there's someone maybe didn't get mopped up at 21. So easier to see the support on this one than the resistance.
Someone's asking about Cloudflare, which is NET. I was just looking at this within the context of all the other cyber names, and you remember they all rallied there, and they've all cooled off a little bit here.
What is the symbol?
NET, net.
NET. Man, you guys are doing me some different.
Cloudflare's been around.
Yeah, but I'm unfamiliar, so Cloudflare. Oh boy. This one, it's easier for me to give you resistance than support. I'm looking here, triple top right here in the same area. So if you're a bull here, it's imperative that you clear. Wow, this thing's a mover, huh? $78. Now that you lost 78, oh boy, you got to 77.70 today, 77.79, 78. I mean, until this thing gets back at over 78, I think you drift lower in this one. Your next monthly low, last month's low, doesn't come in until 68.83. So this one looks a little weak to me.
All right, I saw a $3 billion buying balance for the market on close.
Yeah, we're bound. I mean, another thing I've noticed, doing these end of the year shows, and you used to have, like a trend day, where like, and it's still been that on some perspective, but if this was like a true trend day, we'd be at the lows, we'd be pounding new lows and lower and lower and lower right into the close, but it hasn't been that way. I don't know if we'll go back to that, but yeah, we're 40 handles off the low, so not much of a level to lean on from the, if you're thinking of trying to long at this area. And if you're trying to short, you certainly don't want to lean all the way up to, today's high, 37.73 and a quarter. But boy, oh boy, interesting day on Wall Street.
Look, if history has taught me anything, it's that we'll open higher in the morning and just buy the close.
You see that?
Buy the close, sell the open. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's worked a lot. That's been a winning strategy. Yeah. Someone asked about Fubo.
Yeah. I've been trying to get them on this show. They're tough to nail down, but
yeah, they're running for the hills. I thought the 25 to 30 area, because you had all this congestion here. I thought it might stop a little bit, but now you got a head and shoulders top. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait for it to break its winning streak. But another bad day for Fubo.
Winning streak or losing streak? I don't know. I guess it depends on which side of the market you're on.
That all 20 looks interesting. I'm looking for.
Whoa, Mitch is coming in here. Mitch is coming in with his
the Fubo
on.
Oh, not yet. Almost there. I agree with Joel. You have to see a sideways kind of day. And so if I could see it go sideways, that's what I've been talking about.
I'm waiting for Laura Martin to come in.
I never thought Mitch would come in with his buying shoes. I guess, hey, stock falls far enough.
All right.
Anything's a buy.
Who's our guest tomorrow?
Actually, someone asked this morning when Kenny Glick would be back on the show. Well, tomorrow is your answer. We got Kenny Glick on tomorrow's show. So always a fun time with Kenny. I have to have my finger on the mute button quickly with him, but he's great. We love Kenny Glick. So that'll be on tomorrow's show. Through our disclaimer up there, so you guys all saw that. Hit that like button. Don't just
you never got that swearing memo out that I asked you about.
I sent a few private messages for whatever that's worth.
Good answer.
Okay, everyone have a good rest of your day. Hit that like button. We'll talk to you tomorrow. For those of you still trading in the after hours, good luck.